Hello and welcome to the Print Instant Analysis. I am Apoorva Mandhani and today we are going to be talking about what next for Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal now that the Delhi High Court has stayed his bail. Now the latest development in the case related to Kejriwal's bail is that bail that was granted to him by the trial court, as I mentioned, has been stayed by the Delhi High Court on Tuesday. So what next for Kejriwal then? The short answer is that he will have to spend a few more days at least in jail, but he still has quite a few legal avenues left for him. So let me take you through the long answer then. Now, we know that Kejriwal was arrested in the excise policy case on 21st of March. He was granted bail briefly by the Supreme Court on 10th May till 1st of June to campaign for Lok Sabha elections, but he had to surrender after that. The last week, late Thursday evening, a trial court judge, in fact a vacation judge, her name's Nyay Bindu, she granted him bail. And of course, after that, the ED was quick to challenge this bail order. It moved the Delhi High Court early Friday. And essentially, and this is what usually happens in these cases, ED filed an appeal against the bail order in the High Court and also filed an application for stay so that the bail can be stayed till the High Court hears that appeal. Now, the High Court heard the ED and Kejriwal's lawyers in detail on Friday, and after hearing them, Justice Sudhir Kumar Jain reserved his order on the stay application filed by ED. So basically, Justice Jain has now ruled in favor of the ED and has granted a stay against the bail, which means that Kejriwal will remain in jail till his appeal is heard. But this isn't the end of road for legal remedies for Kejriwal, because in fact his lawyers approached the Supreme Court already on Sunday evening, challenging the fact that Justice Jain had granted an interim stay on the bail application. So like I mentioned, Justice Jain had essentially heard the parties on Friday. He had reserved his order on the stay application, and in the meantime he had granted an interim stay, saying that till he pronounces the order there would be a stay on the bail. Now on Monday, the Supreme Court even called this order by Justice Jain a bit unusual while hearing Kejriwal's appeal, because usually stay orders are passed on the spot immediately after the hearing and are not reserved. But the Supreme Court on Monday had chosen not to pass any order on the stay before the High Court actually delivers its order, which it did on Tuesday. So the Supreme Court posted the challenge, Arvind Kejriwal's challenge, to 26th of June. So that challenge will now come up before the Supreme Court tomorrow. So that's the first remedy. Apart from this, Kejriwal has also challenged the validity of his arrest in the Supreme Court. This was the petition on which he was granted interim bail for campaigning last month. So the final judgment on this petition will also come from the Supreme Court anytime now once it reopens after the vacations this month. So that's the second remedy that may or may not be helpful for him. And now the appeal challenging Kejriwal's bail will be heard on 10th of July by the Delhi High Court. Now, while granting stay on bail to him, the High Court has already formed a prima facie opinion on how the trial court dealt with and ruled on his bail application. For example, the High Court has said the vacation judge did not appropriately appreciate the material on record and the averments of ED, or the Enforcement Directorate. The High Court also took objection to the vacation judge not having pursued the entire voluminous thousands of pages of record before passing the bail order. This was in fact a prominent submission made by ED before the Delhi High Court on Friday, saying that the trial court did not go through the thousands of pages of documents before passing the bail order. But this is only on the stay application, like I had mentioned. So the High Court also still has to decide whether Kejriwal's bail should be cancelled or not. And which is why we must also remember that the threshold for cancellation of bail is quite high. Grant of bail is essentially different from cancellation of bail once a competent court has granted bail, because then the question is about taking away the liberty of a person who has already gotten relief from a court. So this is why courts are usually not very keen on staying bail or cancelling it once it has been granted by a competent court. For example, the Supreme Court has even held that very cogent and overwhelming circumstances are necessary to cancel bail that has already been granted. So while the stay has been granted, the threshold before the High Court is high when it decides on whether the bail granted to Kejriwal should in fact be cancelled. So in a sense, Kejriwal continues to be in jail for now. But for the next few days, both the Delhi High Court as well as the Supreme Court will be hearing arguments on his liberty. For the Supreme Court, the matter will come up on Wednesday, and before the Delhi High Court, the arguments, the Delhi High Court has posted the ED's appeal for arguments on cancellation of bail on 10th of July. And we'll of course, like always, keep track of these updates for you and keep bringing them to you as and when they happen. This is Apoorva Mandhani for ThePrint. For more such videos, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook.